Here is Alex Azar coming out, Health and Human Services, basically explaining that the reason why we have so many people dying in this country versus other people, other countries, is because, well, here it is.
This as a country?
Jake, you can't celebrate a single death. Every death is a tragedy, but the results could have been vastly, vastly worse. It's also important to remember, Jake, as we
face it. But it's worse for us than it is for anyone else.
No, that's actually not factually correct. When you look at mortality rates, that's simply not correct as a percent of diagnosed cases, Jake. That every death is tragic.
As a percent of diagnosed cases. And how are they defining diagnosed cases? I mean, this guy, it's unbelievable, but go ahead.
That every death is tragic.
At the number of dead bodies.
Every death is tragic, but we have maintained our healthcare burden within the capacity of our system to actually deal with it. Unfortunately, the American population is a very diverse and it is a population with significant unhealthy comorbidities that do make many individuals in our communities, in particular African American minority communities, particularly at risk here because of significant underlying disease, health disparities, and disease comorbidities. And that is an unfortunate legacy in our healthcare system that we certainly do need to address. But no, the response here in the United States has been historic to keep this within our healthcare capacity, even in New York City, to keep this within capacity is genuinely a historic result.
Even
I want to give you an opportunity. Clear it up.
I mean, I want to see where Jake goes here, but even Azar was waiting for Jake to respond to, like, hey, wait a second, do we have a bigger problem in society? Because there's nothing genetically predisposing African Americans to being the biggest taking disproportionate share of deaths or having comorbidities. Is this a problem of maybe the fact that we have a racist society and we close down hospitals in their neighborhoods, that we don't provide health insurance for all our people? Do we have a larger societal issue? Azar even pauses and waits for Jake to have some type of response to that. I mean, it's just continue.
Because it sounded like you were saying that the reason that there are so many dead Americans is because we're unhealthier than the rest of the world, and I know that's not what you meant.
No, I think that we have a significantly disproportionate burden of comorbidities in the United States: obesity, hypertension, diabetes. These are demonstrated facts that do make us at risk for any type of disease burden.
Sure, of course, but that doesn't mean it's the fault of the American people that our government failed to take adequate steps in February.
Oh no, Jake! Please don't distort. No, this is not about fault. It's about simple epidemiology and stating that if we have hypertension, if we have diabetes, we present with greater risk of severe complications from this coronavirus. That's all I was saying, and you know that. This is not. One doesn't blame an individual for their health conditions. That would be absurd. It's simply a statement that we do have greater risk profiles here in the United States.
Unbelievable.
Wow. Is he doing race science?
Yeah.
Well, I like the part where Tapper goes, I know you're not trying to be racist here. And he's like, oh, no, I think I am. I think I am trying to be a little racist.
I'm not saying that Black people should blame themselves for having those comorbidities, but
it's not their fault.
Comorbidity fits. It's amazing that they can have this conversation without Tapper saying, well, then wait a second. What have you done? What has your administration done to deal with this obvious shortfall? Your Health and Human Services. You've been in office for X amount of years. What is Health and Human Services doing to diminish this rate of comorbidities? Why has there been less federal funding for hospitals? Why were you attempting to get rid of health insurance for millions of people who have been on expanded Medicaid? I mean, this is like, But it was helpful. Jake saying, like, I know you're not being racist.